And welcome to day 3 of the Summer Shape Up Challenge, Clean Eating Challenge with Powerhouse Breakfast Smoothies. And so while we are just getting started and just rocking and rolling, I am going to get my window set up. So give me 1 second so that I can see your comments and see all of your post. All right, so we're ready to go here. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I hope everybody is feeling great going into day 3. I'm really, really excited. And I'm enjoying the engagement and I'm enjoying the photos. I'm enjoying all the comments that you all are making. And so as you are tuning in, please say hello to me. And we are going to jump right on in. So for those who are tuning in for the first time, my name is Sandra Goltry, and I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist for adult men and women, and I have been your proud host of this 3-day live challenge. And so, again, it is 3 days of clean eating with challenge. It's a 3-day clean eating challenge with Powerhouse Breakfast Smoothies. So, we've had 3 days of filling smoothies. I wanted to show something a little bit different from what most of us are having, the green smoothies, the protein only smoothies. So, they can go much, much deeper than that, as you can see. And these 3 days have flown by so fast. And I have truly enjoyed hearing all your successes. And I thank you all for sharing everything so far. And so I want to take a moment to acknowledge the power of support, the power of group support. And so each of you have joined this challenge. You had your individual goals, you had your individual intentions. And we have been feeding off of each other. And hopefully you are feeling more energized, more motivated, you have more drive. And you've even shared your fears and you shared your challenges. So that's what makes this perfect, because this is not easy for everybody. You're supposed to have bumps, you're supposed to have little hiccups, you're supposed to have little setbacks along the way, and that's what we are here for. So make no mistake that you put the time in, the work in, the effort in, and so everybody has their individual successes, okay? So take that, whether it's sleeping better, whether feeling a little more energized, feeling less bloated, feeling good because, wow, I did it. I went this 3-day challenge and I enjoyed it and I made it through. So that is success in itself. And so speaking of success, I definitely want to share this story. Okay, now this is a really, really, really powerful story. And I'm going to put this in the chat. And as I see people tuning in, please say hello to me. I see a few people chiming on. And her story is simply titled Years of Extreme Dieting to Finally Break Through the Dieting Cycle. So she lost 40 pounds and still counting. And what's ironic about her is she was doing strict keto. She lost 50 pounds. She lost a ton of inches. She worked out religiously at Orange Theory 4 to 5 times a week. She even had a trainer. So she had a lot of things going on to try to really get this weight off. And then life kicked in. Schedule changed, an illness that required medications, and the weight came back with a vengeance, like 30 pounds in about 7 months, she said. And because of the many years of extreme dieting that led to the nutritional deficiencies, it had finally caught up with her. And this is where a lot of the what you don't hear about with the diets. They may do something for you short term, but it's really the long term effects that you really must concern yourself with. She ended up being diagnosed with anxiety with and she had with no known there was no real known mental illness prior to that, and so she feels like that it was just a combination of burnout, fatigue, and it just led to a whole bunch of health issues. She ended up getting put on Zoloft. After 2 months, she had severe insomnia. She had low mood. Her heart was beginning to race, palpitation, chest tightness. And that's when she called that the crash. That's kind of when she was like, enough is enough. I need to stop putting my body through all of this. And fast forwarding, we hooked up. We partnered, and for 3 months until right before the COVID lockdown back in 2020. And the COVID stress combined with she had death of her brother suddenly, and she was still gaining weight. And so she had reached her highest weight. And I put the post in there because I wanted to see some. Those are more of her after pictures, but she was at her highest weight was 290. In her own time, she was able to heal. She picked up the pieces of her life, but she also had the coaching and education for about 3 months from our one-on-one session. And so she was able to lose a lot of that weight. And so we got her down to about 160. and she's been able to maintain that. And so she's is she no longer binge eats. She hated carbs. She restricted carbs. She thought carbs was the most evil thing in the world. She skipped meals. She is off of Zoloft. Thank God for that. Her hormonal imbalances are finally in check. Her A1C is back in a normal range, and she just continues on her journey for health and wellness. She's a biker now. I think one of those photos has her riding a bike, so she does those different marathons and things of that nature. So she's come from a long way, and it took a lot of bravery for her to reach out to me because, again, we all, we should have this thing figured out, and so once we helped her get a healthier relationship with food, i.e., carbs, which is a fear for a lot of people, then things just really catapulted for her. And there's actually a video. You can actually see our interview that we did together. So you can actually hear from her herself versus just hearing it from me. So all of that to say everything is possible. Where you are, whatever struggles you've had, whatever setbacks you think you've had in the past, it doesn't have to stay that way, that things can change. And a lot of times, all this happens to make us stronger and to help us to move forward. So always think about it as being a teachable moment, okay? So no matter where you are in your personal struggle, there's always a way out. Always know that. You just need the right support, the right guidance, and a path that works for you, okay? So that's a partnership. So it's never one way. It's always a partnership. So here is the breakdown for today. And so I will chime in to see if there's any comments, if anybody, and thank you, Raina. Definitely check it out. I think you'll really enjoy her story. And hello to you. And she picked her favorite smoothie for yesterday, the berry avocado. So as people tune in, I'm going to ask what your favorite smoothie is of all three. And so we're going to do a quick recap of yesterday. We're going to do a little bit of feedback from yesterday, and then we're going to go into today's topic, which I actually went into a little bit of feedback already, but we're going to talk about today how we unknowingly can sabotage our diet and as well as our results and how to stop it. Okay. And then we're going to shift back to the remaining meals for going into our last day. And then you should have some leftovers. Many of us will have leftovers. So at least you shouldn't have to cook for at least a day or two. All right. And then we'll talk about next steps. And so I'm going to go into more detail a little bit later, but I have been mentioning about the Back on Track sessions. And so if you want to hear more about that, on how you can spend some one-on-one time with me for 60 minutes, where we can dig a little bit deeper, dig a lot deeper than what we're able to in this group setting to help you to get past maybe some roadblocks or some plateaus or some stumbling blocks that you have to move you forward. Okay. So you can finally start ending that vicious yo-yo dieting, or to build simply a healthy relationship with food, learning how to eat healthier. And that's a big one too. Okay. Just so you can enjoy life and not have to focus so much on fearing if you're eating the right things or not eating the right things. And we always want to do our body good. So stay tuned for more on that. And just in case, here is the URL for that. And definitely feel free to switch to that and check things out. Definitely. And so let's jump on into today. So a quick recap of yesterday, we talked about clean eating, what it is not, and how it helps you to catapult your metabolism and your weight loss, okay? And so clean eating is just a way of eating that lends itself to improving one's health and well-being, okay? So that basically means we're eating more whole foods. We're eating for nourishment, 80-20 rule, because we're not 100%, we're human. We want to eat for fun also, but we want the nourishment to outweigh days to outweigh the fun days. We want to eat more plant-based, but that does not mean go vegan. That doesn't mean vegan is necessary, but we do want to incorporate more plant-based, which is very easy. That's carbs, which is your fruit and your starches and things like that, as well as your vegetables and things of that nature, and beans and stuff like that. But we also want to have a right moderate mix of lean protein to help keep everything balanced and to give our body what it needs. So definitely listen to that replay if you weren't able to tune in yesterday. It's definitely some insightful information. And so just a quick assessment of day 2. And those for you who are on, share about how you felt about day 2. We had the berry avocado smoothie. We had leftover lunch. So we had the peanut Thai zucchini noodles, and then we had our celery and hummus. Was anything brand new to you? What new food has been introduced during this 3-day challenge so far that you never had before, maybe never heard of, but let me know if there's something new because I love to open doors and open windows and broaden your horizons with food. And then for lunch, for dinner yesterday was the mango chickpea salad with the chicken, grilled chicken. So, and let me know how you like that and the sauce. There's a lot of good sauce recipes and dressing recipes. So chime in definitely and just share a little bit of feedback on how you felt about that. Okay, so the hummus and celery was new. Yes, a lot of times we don't think about celery as a as a snack, but yes, you can put peanut butter on celery. You can even put cheese on celery. So there's a lot of ways to make it to where it's just not, or broadening your horizons from the ranch dressing and blue cheese dressing. That's usually how we eat it. So yes, absolutely. And I hear people are sleeping better, which is a wonderful thing, and they're feeling more energy. So as you see, it doesn't take long for the body to respond. So just imagine doing this more and more and more. The longer you do it, the more your body improves and just becomes as optimal as it can possibly be. So let's jump into today's topic. So focus next step. So what, the why, the how for success. So and specifically how we unknowingly sabotage our diet, okay, as well as our results. And what do we need to do to stop that, okay? And so for some reason, we teach ourselves that if we got to do it all. We got to be all in or we're not in. We have to give everything 100%, and if we didn't, we failed. So a perfect scenario for that is, so let's say you're at the top of your game, you're excited, you're motivated, you're exercising daily, you're eating healthy all week, and then you have a slice of unplanned pizza or a cookie one night. And do you feel like it's all over if that happens? Like you might as well just throw away the towel. Everything I've done for all week has been gone. So if you feel that way or if you have done something very similar, just simply post yes, meaning that you relate. If you can relate to that, just post yes, where you feel like, oh, Monday through Friday, you had it nailed, you did it. And then Saturday, one thing happens and you just kind of feel like you've unraveled. And so definitely chime in. Let's see here. I think I see some comments. Let's see here. I like the food combos from yesterday. Yes, thank you, Krista. And it was good, not feeling at all, but tasty. Yep. We're not supposed to feel stuffed. We want to feel, one thing you'll learn here is to feel satisfied. So I did a live a few weeks ago on hunger scale. And so we want to get to a point where we feel satisfied, and that is different for different people. And so that's part of what we call mindful eating. So when you're not always in a situation to weigh and measure and be real specific, listening to your body is very, very important. Knowing what that satisfied feeling feels like, because you're going to eat again. So sometimes we eat more because we feel like, okay, this got to last me for 7 hours, but really that's not really what the goal is. Knowing that in about 4 hours, okay, you're going to eat again. And we see exactly what happened to me. Went to a party last night and ate. It did not derail. But you know what? Think about it. The party that you went to, think about what you ate, and then think about prior in the same situation. Did you eat less or did you eat more, or do you feel you did about the same? So do that assessment of yourself. And if you can assess and say, well, you may have felt like you ate a lot, but it wasn't less than what you've done in the past, then that is a sign that you're being more mindful, and some of this stuff is resonating and is becoming ingrained in you already, and it doesn't take a long time. And so the challenge day number 3, we typically we're going to uncover how we unknowingly sabotage our diet. Okay, sometimes we don't even know it. And so we will start with the all or nothing. All or nothing. Let's see here. I was proud. She declined the fries. See, there you go. That's a sign right there that you did something less because you thought about it. If the challenge wasn't going on, you probably wouldn't have thought nothing of it and like, hey, give it to me. So kudos. And so all relate to the all or nothing. And this is in regards to losing weight. So if you've ever said, I blew it and ate something that you felt like you should not have eaten, then, but you'll start back on Monday or you'll start back next week, whatever that is. And it's very common. There's something about that Monday restart. But I tell people, no, the next meal in the same day, that's when you restart. You don't wait till Monday, because then that's like extra days that you're still going to eat and gain weight. So you got to think about it like that. All righty. And so the classic scenario, let's see here. Let's see here. Let me back up a little bit. The classic scenario. Okay, here we go. So you made the decision, you're going to eat healthy, you have everything is going great, and then you feel strong, you feel upbeat, you're losing weight, you're coasting, and then one night you're with your friends, you go out to dinner. Okay, you don't really want to turn down the invitation, but it's you've had a good week, so you had a good week, you ate clean, you did well, and then you unintentionally avoided going out because your diet, whatever the plan is, doesn't allow for you to eat foods that are at restaurant menus. Okay, so that's where we got. That's where lifestyle differences come from because we're going to eat out. We still want to know that you can eat out and still lose weight. So you go for this meal. You go for the meal. You have a dessert. You have a glass of wine or two, and a few other things. And then the next morning you wake up feeling bloated. You wake up feeling defeated just because you overindulged one night. Okay. And then you feel like you might as well just, you might as well just extend the party for the whole weekend. Okay. So that's really where we make the mistake. Not that you overdid it at that one meal, is that we're extending it over the weekend. And so now you at brunch the next day, you're having your favorite foods, you're eating cookies, and then the next day you feel bad about yourself, and you're standing there and you're looking in the mirror, and so you decide that, hey, you're going to get back on the bandwagon on Monday, right? But right now you're craving some ice cream, so we got one more day left, so let me go ahead and just go ahead and blow it and just keep on going. Okay, this is what we call a form of self-sabotage. Okay, we have that all or nothing. It's like if we don't do it perfect, then we feel like we're messing things up. Okay, and so that's what we're speaking of with this classic scenario. So I never want you to ever think that you are alone because it happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. And so share with me how you felt after day two of the of the challenge. So for those of you who are with me, share with me how you felt after day two of the challenge. Okay. Some people reported feeling good after day one. So how are you feeling after day two of the challenge? How did you wake up feeling this morning? So that's what we want to hear about, and to serve as motivation for other people as well. And so stop expecting perfection, okay? So that's what we want to talk about. Stop expecting perfection. So in all honesty, in nutrition, there's really no such thing as perfection, okay? When you expect some sort of divine perfection with your eating habits, then you're really setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up for failure. And that's what we don't want to do. Even the healthiest eaters, I'm supposed to be one of the most healthiest eaters. I'm human, just like everybody else. We eat junk, we overindulge, we stress eat. But what is perfect? What is it? A perfect diet is really not does not exist. So I assure my clients that each slip up is a stumbling or a stumble is a teachable moment. It's a stepping stone because we have to go through that in order to grow. Okay, we really have to go through that to grow. Now, the thing is how long do we stay in the slump? Okay, so the sooner we get out of it, then the better off we are. And so this is a perfect time to rewind, identify the trigger, and ask yourself, what could you do differently next time? So that's something that I would, challenge Raina to do is to, you went to this party, what happened during the day, or what can you do differently to not feel like so tempted at that party? Like, do you need to have a snack right before you go to it? Do you need to eat something right before to it? Because I don't recommend going to any party or any event or any restaurant starving, because then you will make different choices if you do because you're starving. Okay. When you have the intention of saving calories, will actually eat more calories. And so once you determine that, what can you do differently next time? Because trust me, there is a next time. We can't avoid it. Then you let it go. You move on. You don't beat yourself up about it. Okay. And then remember, it's no matter what you eat, even if your diet is perfect, you're still the same person inside. So we're not defined by our diet. And as you grow and as you grow and as you have the right guidance and the tools, so what you should avoid and really what you shouldn't avoid, then you will grow, and then those slip ups, if you even want to call them slip ups, will be less severe. Okay. They'll be less severe and you're able to recover from them quicker. Okay. So we hear a little bit more awake, more energy, looking forward to the breakfast smoothies. Yay. Yep. She looked forward to the breakfast smoothies. So that was good. That was good. You have 3 different ones. So that's good. And so I want to ask each and every one of you, do you have a personal list of bad foods? Or do you have a list of foods that you avoid? And this list could have been accumulated over a period of years. Like, because if you do different diets, you do different programs, you read different pieces of information, somebody's going to say to avoid something. So have you developed this list of bad foods or foods that you avoid in order to either lose weight, eat healthier, or to just to get a handle on that? And do not feel alone if you do, because many people do. And if you care to share maybe one of the foods that you have taken off of your list, please do. Please do. So she ate a snack. Ah, but she said the fried fish smelled good to her. And you know what? I actually experienced that one time. And it's interesting because once you start eating cleaner more than not, and then you go back to eating something that you love, like mine was fried fish, your body will react to it. So not saying that you won't have any of it, but you won't have as much of it. And so I had to learn that. I definitely had to learn that. um, and so I'm gonna look for some lists of people who if you want to name a food that's on your avoidance list, that has been on your avoidance list, then definitely share. Because if it's a healthy food, then I'm going to encourage you to put it back on your list. Because a lot of times, what gets on our avoidance list are foods that are actually healthy and they have nutrients and they're good for us. They're not always junk type foods. Okay. And so before getting into our last point, I definitely want to continue to invite people to come and join the come join me to get on my calendar for a one-on-one session. And so definitely take advantage of that. I'm opening up some slots over the next week or two for to be able to speak with you one-on-one and to be able to help move you and to help to take you to the next stage. For this, especially for those of you who feel like you need more support than what the 3 days have offered you. So I'm hoping that I've given you some curiosity and I've opened up some mindsets as far as eating new foods, some different pairings, some timings of meals, and you guys really, you ate vegetarian slash vegan on some days and you don't even realize it. So you had some solely plant-based foods, and then you had some that had some protein in it. So you've actually dibbled and dabbled in a lot of different eating styles and you don't even realize it. And it's all about realizing that we don't have to diet, we don't have to restrict, we don't have to go through these extreme measures in order to get healthier, to lose weight, to feel better, to have the energy. It's just the opposite. We have to eat enough for our bodies. We have to eat enough to sustain ourselves, and we have to eat enough to lose weight. So we have to eat enough for all of that to happen. And there's no one size fit all. So what works for one may not work for another. So it's an art and it's a science. And so, but that level of personalization will definitely get you through the hump. And the biggest thing is it's all about nutrition information. It's about knowing the facts and knowing what is and what is not, and how to weed through the noise, I like to say. And going at it alone. Remember, I told you I went at it for 3 years before, and I wasn't able to lose 20 pounds and lost it in 3 months with guidance. And that, not only did she just guide me, but she gave me tools to how to keep it off. Because it's great to lose it, but what good is it to lose it if you cannot keep it off for a long period of time? And that's really what it's all about. That's where that lifestyle comes in. And it helped me to gain control over emotional and stress eating. I went through a period of that, just like everybody else does. And it's hard to get a handle on, but it is possible. You just have to be patient with yourself. And so really it's all about discovering your personalized keys to your success, your weight loss success, your health success. Okay. And so we can start that in a 60-minute session. So definitely take advantage of it. It's my way of thanking you and my way of gifting you with taking these steps of even joining this challenge, showing that you want to make yourself as a priority. And so we will determine what your specific path is, figure out what's holding you back so we can knock down some of those barriers, and then just give you some tangible next steps that you can use to get you going the next day. Okay. Nothing that takes, these long periods of time for you to implement, but something that you can actually do the next day and to start seeing more results, just like you have over these past 3 days. All right. And so let's talk about our final point and how we unknowingly self-sabotage. So let good enough be good enough. And so let me see if I have any comments. Ramen noodles, canned soups, rice packets. Well, you know what? I'm going to agree with you, Krista. We're going to keep all of those on the avoidance list. I don't recommend. I try not to say no. You should not eat something. I try not to say that. But ramen noodles is one that I would say no. You should not eat that. And I actually have a recipe for a healthier ramen noodles as well. And so it was in. I think it's my fuel. It's in my Fuel and Train boot camp. And so it was that one was really good. So and the rice packets, the thing with the rice packets is the sodium is sky high because of the packets, the flavorings. And then she said, yep, canned soup again, the sodium. So we would be better off making it ourselves. So those I would say keep it on that list. That's a good one. And then oodles or noodles. Yep. Well, y'all, those are good ones. So usually I hear things like corn, potatoes, bread. I usually hear things like that. So those are the things you want to actually have on your healthy eating list. Those are good to eat. So you guys y'all have the right stuff on the list. So let good enough be good enough. So for an all or nothing person, a restrictive diet is a road to guilt or shame. Okay, so just think about that. And if a person is not on a diet, or they're on one, they're off one. It's just it's no happy median. They're just kind of all over the place, either on a diet or off a diet. And so my recommendation is quite simply don't diet. Don't diet. And that includes low carb, restricting carbs, high protein, overly restricting, cutting out food groups. I mean, all the different versions of it, intermittent fasting, all of that is a form of a diet. And so you just want to eat healthy. Okay, but we need to know what that is, right? Because that definitely has a different definition for different people. And for many, healthy eating requires defining. And so that's what we're gonna talk about here. I want you to define your healthiest. Okay, healthy-ish or good enough. Okay, so forget about the diet mentality of restricting. Throw away the good food, bad foods, the guilt and the shame that's around food, and linking it to your values as a person and what you eat. So it doesn't make you feel good. It never works in the long run. And then the food that you're supposed to eat, we want it enjoyable. Okay, we want it enjoyable. So every now and then you're gonna have a cheeseburger. I have a cheeseburger. I have fries. Restrictive diets or the on the diet stage, off the diet stage, longer term is not sustainable, right? I've heard people say I can't just eat this restrictive all the time, or it's too expensive, or you got to buy all these specific foods and all these specific supplements and things like that. Food is medicine. Okay, God gave us five food groups, healthy fats. We have more than what we need to survive and to make it work. And so when it's not sustainable and when it's too restrictive, then that results in the stress, in the cravings, in the binges, and then when we do stress, we're going to stress eat more. And when we're emotional, we're going to emotionally eat more. So those are triggers that we don't really realize. And then when you inevitably have a slip up, then you're going to feel more guilt. You're going to cause you to eat even more. And so then you're on that on again, off the diet again, overindulgence. So it's just a vicious cycle, right? And so also the diet mentality can also make you full of judgments about foods, like bad food and good food and clean food and dirty food, and so we want to throw out all of that. I call that the dieting mindset. We just want to throw all that stuff out the window, and we just want you to eat healthy. Eat whole foods. Learn how to eat the whole foods. These type of recipes I give to my clients on a regular basis so they can know how to make healthier versions of their favorite foods and still enjoy it. And every now and then, you go for broke. You have it the way that grandma made it. But we can't eat like that every single day. So you eat food both healthy, unhealthy, but it has zero to do with who you are and your self-worth. So we do not want to connect the two at all. So I hope hearing that kind of helps you keep hope alive, because I know, especially us as women, we will put a lot of our emotions in stock in. If we eat certain things, then it will impact our mood, it will impact our day, it will impact how we feel, etc., etc. I no longer eat those lean cuisines. Yes, 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 yes. That was a crave at one point, because it had the healthier version. But you know what? They still have a lot of sodium. They have less than the other ones. But yes, that's definitely, TV dinners are definitely ones to toss out. And sodium makes me sick for days. Yes, yes, Krista. And most people know I have high blood pressure, and I'm very salt sensitive. And so when I eat out, or if I'm in a situation where I've had something where it's high in sodium, because I'm more in tune with my body, once you start eating cleaner like you have over these past 3 days, you will begin to feel when your body is not right, when something is not really agreeing with you. But when you're constantly eating that way, it's hard to see it. But once you start eating cleaner and then something is a little too much, you'll feel it. So I can tell when something is really salty, it will affect my head. I'll have a headache, and I can just tell. And then it sits on me for days. Like, it doesn't. It takes a while for it to leave me. So I have to really watch what I do when I eat out. And so hopefully hearing the concept that, be good, it's okay. Eating good enough will lift a burden off of you. You don't have, it's no such thing as perfection. Okay. If you see a cookie and it looks good to you, I'd rather you have a bite of it, and then you will assess, oh, this is really good, I'm going to continue to eat it. Oh, this is just okay. You will grow to a point where you'll put it down. It's like not worth it. And that way there's no curiosity gets us in trouble, especially when it comes to food. Okay, so in a nutshell, we are not defined by how we eat. We are trying to change habits and eat healthier to set yourself up for success. That's what it's all about. Remember that you are human. You will slip up, but it's a slip up. It's not a setback. It's not a relapse. It's just a setback, and we get back on and we learn from it. Okay, and there's not always a script. Okay, so you approach your slip up as teachable moments. You rewind only to determine what could have triggered this. What can I do different next time, and then you're better prepared next time. Okay, but we have to go through that in order to know what to do next time. You let it go, you move on. And know and trust that you're still moving forward even when you slip up. Okay, it's when we have that all or nothing and we say, okay, I'll get back on it in 3 days, or I'll get back on it next week, or at the beginning of the month. Things like that. That's when we get ourselves in trouble. So always remember that. Always remember that. It's not that one meal. It's the extended part of it that becomes the problem. All right. And so let's recap here for our remaining meals. Let's see here. We're on the home stretch. Let's see here. Today we had the mango lime. How do we feel about that one? How do we like that one? Sodium. Yes, sodium is a culprit for everybody. So how do we like it? It was kind of light, refreshing. So definitely another flavor. We use cauliflower. So you had a way to get some vegetables in with your fruit. So definitely, you probably never thought about that combination, huh? So share with me how you felt about that one and how you rated it. And then let's see here. Good, good, good. Thank you for that. I'm glad this is helpful. And definitely share it. You guys can share this information with others so they can listen to the replay. So definitely take advantage of that, because we want to reach as many as we can. And so today we have what's remaining is the blackened fish taco bowls. So this is you can use any fish fillet if tilapia is not your thing. I know somebody mentioned earlier during the happy hour launch that I did that they prefer like salmon. So that is perfectly fine. So whatever your fish of choice is, it will all work. And this is another dish that you can decide that you want to have warm, or you can have it cold. So some people love raw veggies and things like that. So either way, it's up to you. And enjoy that. And then you have leftovers for lunch tomorrow, as you see that showing on the grid there, as well as some of the other meals. So take advantage of not having to cook for a little while. Let's see here. Good combos today. Awesome, awesome. And you remember, you still have the toasted trail mix, because that made 4 servings. So those are snacks that you can have over the weekend. And that's one of my favorites. So I recommend keeping those on deck, because that can serve as like emergency snacks when you're in situations. You can keep it in your car. You don't have to worry about hot, cold, and things like that. So that's a really a good snack to have in any situation when an emergency or unexpected thing pops up. All right. And so we are wrapping things up here. And if anybody has any questions or comments, definitely chime in. I will watch the thread. And if you have any of those photos, definitely upload photos. And I'm just really excited. I'm really happy that you guys participated. And I'm going to put up here again the URL for the Back on Track session. So definitely take advantage. I'm looking for 12 people, 12 committed people that I can help move forward. So it's not often I'm able to allocate that time in my calendar. So please take advantage of it. Definitely take advantage. And this truly has been my pleasure to host this Summer Shape Up Challenge. I have one more coming later on in the year. So stay tuned for that one. Totally different plan, totally different purpose, totally different 3 days of challenge of training. I'm sorry, training. So I enjoyed engaging with you, and I'm glad and happy that you all engaged back with me. And so let's end up on a good note, on a strong note. All right. And so each of you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, and be blessed. Bye bye.